Okay, I'm back. I guess y'all say, man, you went and changed everything. Yeah. Okay, I changed one thing, do another wash up, change again. Okay? So now, this video is to get the opinion of what y'all think in reference to my conclusion to what I did. So, y'all find the video, or I'll link it in here. I'm gonna link it in here of the video that I did. It's not an in-depth video, but it's enough info in reference to me buying a Rolex watch. And I didn't ask no information on it. They didn't give me no information on it. All they did was took my money. So now that I have the watch, it took me August, September, October, November, December. It took me 5 months to pay off the watch. So, upon completion of it, because I wanted to be a Christmas present to myself, from my husband, being that you said that I can buy anything I want, being that it will be something of value, meaning that an investment that's going to last a while, not just wasting money. So I cannot say that I've always wanted a Rolex watch, because I remember when Rolex was introduced to my head, maybe back in the 70s, right? And then when I got into the 80s, I done had my son. I done had my daughter, the one that's deceased, and I heard her talking about it. Even though not to my knowledge, I don't believe she owned anything. I don't think she owned a Rolex. That's what I mean. So I never had that urge or that, well, I'll say urge. I got that this last year. But I never put that on my goal or agenda to buy a Rolex watch. I did put in my goal and agenda to buy a Cartier watch. So I did. And I got it here, right? And it is a tank. So I was fine with that. Yeah, that's it. So then let me see what gave me interest of a Rolex. I went somewhere and somebody were selling them, right? And I was like, okay, let me try it out. And let me see how I like it. So now, upon wearing it, off and on, etc., the band didn't fit me, and the face was kind of big. But I didn't do no research. I had no idea that they came smaller. Every watch that a man wear, depending on the style and the make of it and who make it, is always a lady watch to it, or lady watches in general. So growing up, as far as watches was concerned, I always was drawn to the lady watch. So now, back in the 80s, 90s, 2000, maybe about 2003, right? I became interested in the big face because, as y'all know, it became a style. I don't know what year it came out, but it was becoming stylish to wear big face watches, and more on the man's side. Because I don't know, because I didn't do no research, so don't quote me on it. I don't know whether they had big face watches for women. I'm finding it out for Rolex, but I didn't know they had big face watches for women. So I became interested in Michael Kors. I had a Michael Kors watch, which I got on my Porsche mark to sell. So y'all can go under Brina 890 and check out my Poshmark closet. So I sold some watches on that platform. And I had a DKN watch, etc., 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 different kinds. And they all were small faced, like the small one. So now as I got older and my eyes started getting bad, I had to upgrade. I had to start wearing the big face. So by then became interested due to the fact of me running into somebody that was selling Rolex. I became interested in Rolex, right? So now I will be honest, what gave me the interest was watching YouTubers. And I seen a couple of male, I think it was Michael, is it Michael? No, not Michael. Something Cross. I can't remember his first name. But he was under the Birkin. So when I was doing search for Birkin, I came across his videos of Birkins and how he started out. So I became interested in the things that he was in his videos, right? So there, he was just distinguished, for those who know anything about. I keep saying Michael, but his name is not Michael. George. I think his name is George Cross. But anyway, forgive me if that's not his name. But he had this watch on his arm in these particular videos. And it had gotten to the point that I would just watch those videos just to see that watch. And so I went through his videos. I don't recall him, I can't remember right now whether he individually did a video on the Cordian colon blue. Now, I know I'm pronouncing it wrong because it's a French name, but I'm going to put it like that. Colden Brew. Sound like some food or something. And I searched it up and I compared the picture on the courtier's website to the watch that was on his arm. And I was like, well, I like that one. It just seems so interesting. It interests my appeal of watches, right? Because, I'm so used to just the regular watch. You get the white face, and my DKM watch, it had a pink pearl, mother of pearl face. So I sold that. That one got sold. So I was used to this the plain face, and even though this Cordio watch was white faced, it was just the distinguish of it. And when I seen it, on his arm, now he's known for money. That's the category I would put him under, billionaire. So I kept saying to myself, there's no way I can afford that watch. But I was fascinated and interested in it. So I did my search, whatever. And as I said, I came across, it wasn't the one he had on, but I came across where I was able to at least buy a courtier. So eventually, maybe on down the line, I may save up for the colon blue, but I'm not saying I am. So, okay, with that being said, I was watching other videos and I came across some young ladies that had these distinguished watches on their arm, not the men. Now, you see, the attention that came to me for the Rolex was through a woman. So I saw this girl with it on her arm, and then there was another girl, Money Girls, YouTubers, and I saw these Rolex watches. So I was like, Rolex, okay, I heard about Rolex. I still didn't do like research in depth, like how it was made, when it was produced, what type of watch it is, etc. Then I just was interested in the face and how it looked on the arm. So then I began to look it up and search for it. So come to find out, it was a Rolex Datejust, but it wasn't so much as woman, and I didn't put in women's Rolex Datejust Just watch. I didn't put that in. I just put in Rolex. So it took me to the page, and I went through the pages. I'm looking at the price. I'm like, oh my God, there's no way I'm going to be able to pay. Be able to buy. Even saving up, I'll be saving up till I'm old and gray. So I didn't think nothing else about it. I took it out of my head because it wasn't in my budget. So I was like, I ain't even worried about it. So one day I was walking, last year I was walking on Fordham Road in the Bronx. And there was this pawn shop. And I always pass by this pawn shop. But I would look in it for rings. Because my husband told me he wanted me to get myself a new ring. And every year he told me, this was like when he was up and running. Not completely walking, but when he first came back to New York. He told me that every year he wants me to change my ring, right? And for me to use his money, however it is, and get it. So, I ain't think nothing about it. And ever so often he would ask me, did you get your ring? Let me see your finger. I show him my finger. I still got it. He said, that's the same ring. You ain't getting no. I said, okay, I'm going to get it. I just got to, I haven't researched and dug down in it yet. So when I decided to dig down in it, I approached him with it, and I think the jewelry store was Yale's. I think it was Yale. Zales, Zales. There's another jewelry diamond place. But at that time, for some reason, I would always pass this jewelry store, or when I would go to King's Plaza or any big mall, I would see it, and it would just always like pop out to me, right? And then when it would pop out to me, it would say ring. Now, mind you, I wasn't thinking about no watch. So, I was like, okay, let me do the ring. All right. So then I told my husband, I said, okay, I found a place. I went into it. I looked at the diamonds. I looked at the cut. Because I think I forgot the name of that cut. It's like, I forgot the name of it. But this video is not for the ring. But I'm using that example to move forward. So anyway, I picked the cut I wanted. I picked the whatever, however it is. The setting, all that stuff. And they gave me a price. I forgot the price now because that was like 5 years ago or something. And I came back and I told him, I didn't tell him the price. I told him that I wanted us to go inside the store. Because remember you said to get a ring. He said, yeah. I said, well, I want us to go into the store and I want us to look at the rings. So he told me, say, yeah, okay. So I set the day, not with the people, but I set the day for us. He said, all right, I'm going. I said, we're going to go. I said, you can help pick the ring out. Even though, it's all me, but I feel like he's spending his money. So whichever diamond you pick, whatever style you pick, whatever you can afford, that's what I'm gonna wear. Because that's how it's supposed to be. When a man proposes to a girl, he's supposed to already have the engagement ring. Right? Or already bought the set. In my perspective and how I feel and my romantic self, I want the man to pick out what he likes for me to wear. I'm already giving him my life, dedicating my life to him. I already said yes. So I shouldn't have to be bothered about picking out a ring, right? Because, women is high-minded as far as a diamond is concerned. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know too much about diamonds, so therefore I let him pick what he can afford. I'm not rich, he not rich. And I don't got no rich uncles and no rich grandmas and grandpas. I had a rich daddy, but unfortunately he's deceased now. So that means I'm not rich no more. So anyway. So now when the time came for us to go, he was coming up with all kinds of excuses. I told him the day before and he agreed with me. Okay, now the day is come, I'm up, I'm getting myself ready. I walk over, go to where he is, and he just chilling, probably lying. I think he was still lying in the bed or whatever. And I'm like, come on, Tracy, we going to look at these rings together. And he giving me this face. He ain't moving, or whatever. So I was very hurt. And I felt like that was purposely done. he got me all excited to do this. And then he just knocked me down. And that was a joke to him because he had little smirks on his face because I started fussing. You know, I wasn't into Christ. Like, I was saved, but I wasn't in Christ like I am now. So I was arguing with him. I was like, how you did this? How you gonna, like, boost my heart up like that and make me think we're going to get a ring and we're going to put down on this ring and, you know, we're going to pick this ring together, because we never did nothing together. I don't know how this video became a husband and wife video, but just bear with me. I'm going to get to my point and keep on going. So, he was like, you know, we never did anything together. We never went to the beach together. The first time we ever set foot on the beach was in California, and that was Venus Beach, and he was busy looking at other women. So here I am feeling bad. And then he look at me and tell me why I can't look like that. So I ain't never went to I'll be honest with you, I ain't never went to a beach with him anymore. Okay, so we never really did. We did no picnics together. We didn't walk in no parks together. We went to movies together, but that was in Job Corps. And we went one time when we was in California, and we was into each other then, so we kind of enjoyed that moment. But it didn't last long because he would always say something that would trigger me off and make me mad, make me want to walk from where we are to his house in California, which in all reality I couldn't, because California you need a car. And I ain't know nothing about California. So the bus we was waiting for, we had done missed it. So we had to wait from that night, which was like 11 o'clock, to that morning, 6 o'clock in the morning. You know I miss New York City, because New York City buses don't never stop running. So, okay, moving forward. So I'm feeling kind of hurt. I was hurt. I came in the room. I did my little tears. And I was like, all right, get over it. I said I would never ask him nothing in reference to sentimental anymore. Nothing about no ring. Anything that I want, I'm not asking him nothing about. If I want to go get my nails done, and I didn't. For years, he came here 2011. After that time, maybe let's say it was 2012, we were supposed to go. From 2012 to 2024, I ain't asking for nothing. I mean, I didn't ask in the sentimental thing, right? As time went on and years went on, he will come to me and he'll be like, oh, what about your hair? And I'll be like, what about my hair? And I'm saying to myself, oh, you got something, you got something sarcastic to say about my hair. I'm saying in my head. But it was very hard back then for me to hide my feelings, so it was in my face. So when he would say, oh, your hair, I'd be like, what about my hair? And he'd be like, no. I'm saying that to tell you that, you know, when my money comes, you go on, or I'm going to give you the money, and you go on and get, you know, what, you go on and you can buy your hair. So I told him, I said, well, my hair's like $1,000. And he's like, So that was the end of that. We ain't talking no more about no hair until another 2-3 years later. Okay, so, and that's when we got here. So it wasn't even 2. No, we moved here in 2019. So that was about 2012 or 13. So 2018, when they was, no, 2019, something like that. When the government, when the city was giving out the money, the stimulus checks, he actually told me that when his check come, he wanted to know how much it was. I told him how much it was. Well, we all know it was $1,400. He said, I want you to take half and give me the other half. I almost fell down and rolled and got up and skipped and shouted, praise God, fell back down, rolled. He ain't never wanted to give me no money as long as we were together. We got married in 1983. We separated in 1986. He came back in 2011. Never gave me nothing. It was hard to get $1 out of him without going through some lecture or something. So when he said that, I was like, oh, what? And he was like, yeah. So, you know, if y'all remember, they gave out, I think, 3 stimulus, right? So 2 of them was by the check, and the third one I think came in your taxes or something like that. So let me see. Getting back to going on to get to the watch. So now that's when he started saying that whatever you need, whatever you want, as long as whatever you want, if it's something that you want, like if it came down to my hair or my nails, it never was too much clothes, because I get my own clothes, never really come to him. And so I had asked him one time about a Birkin bag, and I told him how much the bag was, and he was like, "Who's supposed to be buying that?" I said, "Well, you asked." He asked me how much it was. I said, "Well, you asked, so I'm telling you." I said, "That's just something I want." I said, "I ain't saying I'm getting it, but that's something I want, and maybe I can find it some kind of way, pre-owned or something like that, and be able to pay a nice price for it, right?" So I was able to get my Birkin. But it wasn't him that bought it. It was my daughter. Okay, so now, walking down Fordham Road, came across the pawn shop. And looking, that's how I got to the rings. Okay, I had to remember now. How did I get to rings and my husband? Okay, because I was in there looking in the window to buy me a diamond wedding band. I mean, a wedding set. I wanted the set. So as I'm looking, I saw the Rolex watch. But it wasn't the small one. It was the big face one. So I was like, oh, okay, this is good. This is good. So I walked in, and when I walked in, there was a gentleman in there. So I was telling him that I saw a Rolex watch, and I would like to know how much it costs, etc. So he brought out the one that I saw, right? And I was like, well, he didn't bring out the one I saw because that was in the window. So they had some inside. So I showed them, he brought out that one, and he showed me. It was kind of, and he said that was a men's size, so it was kind of big. And I'm looking at it. So I was like, how much it is? So he told me how much it is, and the discount that I would get, how much they take off, and then I'm allowed to pay each month a certain amount, which was in the hundreds. So I was getting ready to go through with that. So I had stopped, paused for a little bit, because I was calculating in my head based on the money that I get, right? Because I wasn't too much going with his money, with my husband's money, right? Because his money hadn't started yet, right? He had just returned back home. So I was trying to get everything in order as far as what I was going to use his money for. So I guess because I paused, maybe the guy figured that I was going to change my mind. So he said, well, if you want to go a little bit smaller and want a ladies one, he brought out the one that I bought. And I was like, oh, okay. So he said, you could try it on. So I tried it on my arm. And I was like, oh, I had it on this arm. I said, oh, all right, I like how this look. The face was smaller. Right? I wasn't even thinking about the face, and the face was smaller and stuff like that, right? So, I was like, okay. I was just thinking about something, because the lady, I talked to the manager today, and she was telling me that if I was unsatisfied with the watch, I could bring it back, and if I wanted something different, they can give me a different watch. Ciao. I'm going to take up on that. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, so I'm jumping, all right. But let me say this right quick. That's just what I'm going to do. I'm going to take, because I want a little bit, I guess the next size. I guess I would get I got the 26. I guess I would get the 28. So it's a little bit rounder, more bigger. So I think I will go, once it come back, and I don't wore for about 6 months, got all my bills down and taken care of, then I'm going to go back into her, and I'm going to, instead of getting the ring, I'm going to upgrade the face of the watch. Okay, so with that being said, let me go on. So, I said, okay. So I started working on the watch. Now, each time I went, 3 times I went, I saw the same gentleman. So this particular day, I went to go pay down, and it was a lady there. I didn't pay her. I just figured, I don't know why I think when it comes to jewelry, it's the men. I never think that a woman would be a manager. I look at women being manager in Macy's. I wouldn't look at it being a woman being the manager or being a owner of something. Not to downgrade a woman, but in my perspective, I'm looking from my perspective, because if me and my husband is working together, he would be the big person because he's a husband. But I'll be honest with you, in his perspective, he would make me the owner. He would have me take care of all the business, and I will be the one. Anybody got anything to say, it will come to me. It will be in my name, but he would be the actual owner. Let me put it that way. Okay, but I'm not thinking that everybody is like my husband, So I wasn't even thinking about her being anybody. I just thought she was working it, because she kept turning around talking to another girl. And that girl was like, yeah, this, that, and the other, when I went to go pick up the watch. So now, the point of this video is that it was not told to me. Let me tell y'all the cons to this before I get to the pros. The con to it, and it's on my fault as well, it's my fault, that they never told me the history of the watch. And the history only consists of how long they had the watch. How long they had the watch, whether or not they had any papers or anything like that. Okay. So, with that being said, and I didn't think to ask. So I had no history on the watch. I didn't know when the watch was made. I didn't even know whether it was running. I'm assuming it is running. You know what I'm saying? Because it's in the store. Because if it wasn't running, you should not be selling it. I'm not asking anything. Okay, so what happens if something breaks down, or if it doesn't work, or if it stops ticking? Do I bring it back to you, or do I go to the company? What do I do? I didn't find out all. I was just so excited. I'm gonna have a Rolex. I ain't thinking nothing. So when the time came and I finished paying for it, they gave me the Rolex, and it was her. I paid the last payment on it. She began to tell me how I'm supposed to shake it this little bit, and I'm supposed to turn it 20 times, or whatever the case may be. I got all that because I got a accordion blue Cartier watch, where you got to turn it. With Cartier, I read that you got to do it at least 40 times, right? Then after that, you ain't got to wind it no more. I mean, hypothetically speaking. So now, I said, okay. So I put the watch on, walk out the store, boom, right? I would say a week later, because I bought the watch on the 25th, 28th. Oh, here we go. I bought the watch on the 28th of December. I bought the watch on the 26th of December. 28th of December, let me put it that way. Right? Okay. So let's go to the calendar. So I need to know exactly when this watch started acting up. Now that I'm thinking about it. Okay. So I bought it the 28th. No, the 29th. Yeah, the 29th of December. Okay, the 4th. So it wasn't even a week. The 4th, it could have been, the 4th is when I believe I took it in. No, I took it in the 8th to Rolex. So you see how quick it started acting up. Now, apparently they didn't check it. Right? So let me go on with the cons. So the 4th, I'm going to say about the 4th, I noticed that it wasn't keeping time. No, I ain't gonna even say the 4th. I'm gonna say about the 1st or the 2nd. I noticed it wasn't keeping time because I was looking, I'd be like, wow, it's behind. So I didn't think nothing about it, right? And I left it. And then I would look again maybe the next day and it would be like 2 minutes or 3 minutes slow. Not fast, slow. So I was like, okay, right, excuse me. So then I woke up. Let's say we're going to go by day. Second, I noticed that it was missing a minute. I say a minute. The third, I noticed it was missing 2 minutes behind. The fourth, I woke up and it stopped. I took it off, I wind it up. Okay, I went on from the fourth. Let's say it ran the fifth and the sixth and the seventh, but I'm noticing that it's still not keeping the minutes right. The eighth, I wake up 7:15 in the morning, right? It stopped. That's when it stopped. It stopped at 7:15 on the nose. The what you call the thing? The calendar thing was on 8 when it was supposed to have been on 9. And then there was another time I had to wind it up and set the time. Hello?
Where the fuck is Jonathan and Mark? Are they still in fucking school?
Who?
Jesus Christ. If I have to wait for them for one more hour, I swear I'm a backhand Jonathan. Well, let's see what's on fucking Roblox today. Got peaceful.
I don't think so. So now, okay, so now it's the 8th, yeah, because I'm going to say from the 3rd to about the 6th, I had to either wind it, set the time, and still notice that it was behind, right? So now it's the 8th, it's the 7:15, and it's on the 8 mark. It didn't move, right? So I went into Rolex on the 9th, right? So the 8th, I called them, whatever. No, I didn't call them. The 8th, I didn't even call the store. Wait, I did call the store. But anyway, let me go. So now I go to Rolex, and Rolex wants to know what's going on, and I tell them that it's slow. They come back and tell me the things that need to be replaced. So they already had the watch, so I didn't take the watch back, right? Because they said that they have to, I wanted to wait until they give me the estimate. Not the estimate. Yeah, the estimate, because I thought they were going to be able to tell me how much it cost them. So now I closed the store, right? Because today's the 11th. So I called the store yesterday, which is the 10th. Now, I have not decided to do the work, to let them do the work. I didn't go pick it up because I was thinking that if I go pick it up, then I'm not going to get what needs to be done. So I have to let them keep the watch and let them check it out. I guess they're going to have to, I don't know whether they open it. I don't know. I guess they have to open it and see what's going on with it, right? That's 5 to 7 days that they had to do all that. So I'm presuming that they had to open it up. Now, once they open it up and tell me exactly what's going on with it, then, and I get the price, and I'll decide what I'm going to do, right? So that's what happened. So I got all of that on the 10th. So when I called them up, I didn't get to speak to the lady. I called the man first because he gave me his own personal number on his card. So I called him. It went straight to whatever it went to. So I left a message with my phone number on it. And then I called the store, right? So mind you, now that I'm thinking about it, I called the day that I took the watch in, right? And I didn't get no answer back. So I waited another day, which was the 10th, right? Which was yesterday. And when I called again, the person told me, because I was going to go into the store. I guess it probably would have been better for me to go in the store, but I went. I didn't feel like taking that ride. Cause out here in New York, we was going through some sort of storm and it was raining. Yeah, so the 8th was Monday and it was raining like crazy. So that's what made me wait till the 9th, to the next day, which was the 9th. So I said I don't feel like going there, cause I had to go do something with my husband and I was tired. I said I'm going home. I'm going to rest, and then then it came to me. Why don't you call? So I said, well, let me call them. So all right. So when I called, I asked for him because I'm thinking he's the manager. Not even the manager. I didn't even look in the aspect of manager. I just was taking it as he's the first one that I interact with. So that's who I'm going to do my business with. I'm not going to go to nobody else. The lady is nice and everything, but I'm just going to stick with the man. That not knowing, not thinking anything about manager or anything, right? So I called and asked for him. So the person that answered the phone said that I asked for the girl and they said the girl wasn't there. So that was yesterday. No. Yeah, that was yesterday, Wednesday. Right. That was yesterday. So she says she's off Wednesdays and Sundays. So that's why she wasn't there. Because if I had got her, then she would have been able to change my mind. And I would have walked in and took my watch. I would have went and got the watch from since I got the estimate. I would have went in and just took the watch, picked up the watch, and put it that way. But when I called and got him, well, I didn't get him. He called me back. Whoever was that answered the phone took down my phone number and everything, and then said I'll pass it on to him. He called me maybe about 15 minutes later. I explained to him the situation, not with Rolex, but with the watch. I didn't tell him that the watch was not working or has all of the issues. I didn't tell him all that because what I was trying to get out of him was the warranty, what was covered. So as I'm talking, I'm saying that, I want to know if something happens to the watch, what is the procedure? So then he said, well, let me just say this. Our warranty is covered only by jury. So I'm like, it's only covered by jury. I said, really? He said, yeah. So I said, wow. He said, yeah. I said, unfortunately, it's only covered by jury. And therefore, if you bring the watch in and we detect anything wrong, our juries will be able to fix it. We'll send it to the juries and let the juries see what's going on. But anything that got to be done, you will have to pay for it. So I said, well, in that case, I might as well just go right straight through Rolex. I might as well give Rolex my money than to go through all this procedure with y'all, and I still got to give y'all my money, and I done gave you some money. So you're not telling me that I'm going to get not even a discount on anything that needs to be fixed due to the fact that you don't cover nothing, right? So now with that being said, I went on and clicked. Rolex sent me the estimate. I already had the estimate. They sent me the work release paper through the email. So now, if I knew, like if I had to open it up on my computer, I would have saw that there was a link in there. It said click me, and all I had to do was click it, and it will let me know that I submitted it already. But even though I clicked it on my phone, you don't get my little tiny phone. I got the 12 mini. It's small, so I don't get the whole picture. So I was like, you know what? I'm just I clicked on the PDF, and it told me that I had to fax or mail it in. So I had in my head that I'm going to fax the information over, once I make the decision, is that what I'm actually going to do? So now, once he told me that I could not, that they was not paying today, I went on in there because I kept telling myself, let me get this done so that the 2 months I have enough time to put money aside. So by the time the 2 months is up, I'll be able to go in there straightforward with the full amount, right? So I clicked on the thing and sent it in because as on the computer, I get the whole picture, so I didn't have to mail it in. They said I have to pick one of two options. So the first option was they had a link for me to click, and then when I open up, it gives me the option to pick service it or don't service it. So, service or don't service it. So I clicked the service it, and I did something else. I had to sign, use my mouse and sign it. So once I signed it, I clicked the submit button and went in. So it comes up saying it's submitted. So I was like, oh, I ain't got to fax it. So good. Now I get the phone call, and I get the phone call from the manager. I didn't know she was a manager. She called. She said, "Did you call me?" Somehow she said it, or did we call you? Something like that. So I called. I told her, I said, no, I called. I said, and I spoke to Mr. Tomey, and I began to tell her what happened. So now she's telling me that there's no way they're going to sell the watch and don't have it covered. He said, I don't know why he said that. He had no right saying that. And she said, he had no right having no conversation with you at all. He should have directed you straight to me. That is the truth. That's just like people coming to me about situations in the church, and I try to handle the situation. And then when it get to the pastor and the bishop, I'm getting scolded, which is right, because I had no business doing their job. Because there's some things that's required only for the bishop and the pastor to do, and then there's some things that's required for the evangelist to do. So if he was just an employer, he was stepping into the realm of manager, and he don't hold that title. So that means the stuff that she know, he don't know. But everything that he knows, she know. So she was explaining it to me that I wouldn't have to pay nothing. She would have sent it to the service people. And anything that had to be paid, they would have paid it. So I was explaining to her that my concern was, because she kept talking about she got an older one and it works very fine. I said, I understand you got an older one. I said, I don't know what year y'all was in. I said, but you have to understand, since I'm doing research on Rolex, every Rolex has a part for their Rolex. So in other words, if a Rolex is manufactured between 1980 and 1986, whatever watch is made within that time, because they got the seal on it of the year that it was made in the watch, I'm pretty sure. So all them parts is only related between the 1980 and the 1989 watch. Now, 1990 parts ain't going to fit in the 1980 part. It ain't going to work. That's how unique Rolex is. Now, maybe with somebody else's watch, they probably have a variety of parts that can fit in there. But Rolex used their parts to fit in their watch. So now, the crystal that's on the watch did not belong to, it wasn't manufactured by Rolex. So I got to pay for that crystal. They charged me an extra $54 added to the crystal part anyway. So the crystal part is $135. They add the $54 to it, and that's $189. I got to pay for that crystal. Whereas if the crystal was real, then I would have only been paying $135. So I'm telling her this. I said, and another thing, I said, it was not explained to me the warranty and how it worked. I said, you telling all this to me now. I said, but it was not told to me. When I went and opened up this money deal contract with you guys, y'all didn't tell me what was going to be covered. You ain't got to worry about this or that. I'll be right back. Somebody calling me.